All right, I am in the beginning stages of a project where I'm going to create a massive bedding area for deer. And I'm going to actually have three kind of competing habitat types right in a row. So we'll see what works best. So this hillside over here, last fall I went and cleared all the ironwoods off it, which it was either ironwoods or just a handful of mature trees like this. Those trees will get cut and skiddied out of here. So essentially this hillside is a south-facing slope, and it will be the equivalent of a small clear cut once the mature timber gets taken out. So I imagine, it'll take we have heavy deer browse pressure, so it'll probably take a few years before it grows up enough to actually hold deer. But eventually, at some point, that new growth will grow up and it should start to hold some deer. Well, right next to the hillside, I got this small hinge cut bedding area, and this one's, I've added a few trees here and there. It's not a very big area, maybe 1/8 of an acre, but I've had it for, I think this will be the 4th year, and as you can see, the new growth hasn't really grown up much, and a lot of these trees were ironwoods, which when you hinge those, they don't live very well, so they died. So there is sunlight getting in. But one thing I noticed with this hinge cut bedding area is most of the bedding was either occurring on the edges. You can see a lot of beds over here where I made small little canopied beds, like up in there in the summer at least, or getting closer to hunting season. More of the beds tended to be over there. But the beds were either on the edges or in these small little openings I made where I didn't hinge any trees, where I hinged the trees around the area, but I did not hinge the trees in the middle here. And the beds were kind of in these little, you can almost call them bedrooms, small clear-cut openings. You can see some beds right in here right now. And winter bedding isn't always it's not a great gauge of where they're going to be bedding during the hunting season, but this pattern tend to be pretty consistent where they like to bed in these areas. And I would make these little travel corridors going out, and there was not much bedding in there. So I got this small hinge cut area. Well, if you look this direction, it's tons of pole timber, just small 2 to 6 inch type trees, and it's thick. And one mistake I've made in the past in an area like this is I feel the need to hinge cut everything, and then it gets too thick and the deer don't tend to use it. So the first phase of me creating this bedding area here, which I'm going to make a pretty good sized bedding area, is today I'm going to go through and start cutting down that small pole timber and just make brush piles. And I want to expand this quite a bit, but I'm going to get rid of the small pole timber first and then leave some of that more probably 4, 5, 6 inch stuff, and that'll be what I'll be hinging at some point. But I have a lot of the little stuff to get out of here. And I have noticed, even when I've used that little stuff for hinge cut bedding areas, it doesn't have the same effect as about a 5 to 6 inch tree. Those are about the perfect size to hinge cut. So this whole area is going to get knocked down here, and it is going to be an awesome bedding area. So with that, I'm going to get to work, and who knows when I'll be videoing again. It could be summer, but I got some work to do today. All right. Well, I was going to make a big video and kind of lump it all together once it was a finished product, but this is going to be a pretty big undertaking, so I think I'm going to do the videos in phases. So this is what I got done today. I cut a lot of ironwoods out of here and some smaller maples, and I left the trees that I plan to hinge cut. Now, some of them are pretty healthy, straight looking trees, and when the logger does come, whenever that'll happen, he said he'd be willing to take trees down to 4 inches in diameter, and so if he wants these, he can take them. I'm not going to hinge them until the logging's done. But today the goal is just to get the smaller trees and the ironwoods cut in this area. I got a lot more to cut. If you look that direction, it's the hinge cut area. I made couple big brush piles. Like, I guarantee you a deer's going to bed right here once this is done, because you see that one right there, these ones right here. I'm probably going to hinge this way and try to create a little tunnel so they have an escape right there, and my bed will be right there. So there's going to be a lot of that kind of thing going on, where I'm going to make these kind of big openings like this and just kind of drop the trees around it with lots of tunnels going out. So here will be a bigger opening. I'm going to keep going that direction. Just cut the small stuff that's, you know, inch, 2, even 3 inches in diameter, and then those probably 4 to 8 inch trees even. Those will be the ones I hinge cut. But it's going to be pretty open. I'm going for kind of big bedrooms here. I want lots of sunlight coming in, and the hinge trees will be hinged in very strategic fashion. So that's what was done today. I literally just worked in this small area. I did kind of walk through the woods a little bit and drop a few ironwoods that I saw, but mostly just cutting this area. And yeah, I can't wait to get back in here and finish it. I have more of this phase 1 to do, because if you look out that direction, there's smaller trees that I need to cut still, but had some chainsaw issues today. Almost out of battery on the electric, so we'll save it for another day. But hope you all are staying inside, and this COVID-19 stuff is scary business, but it's also a great opportunity to get out and enjoy God's creation. I saw tons of families out for walks today, so in spite of the very serious nature of it, there will be some benefits, because I think it'll be a great opportunity for people to get out and enjoy what God's given us. So hope you all have a good day. God bless.